Um,
Hey, Bhavana. Nice to see you.
so lovely to see you.
Thank
It's a
you. Same here.
cheerful disposition that always lifts me up.
Ah, thank you. And yours too. Not to mention your lovely tresses.
Thank you. So, every time I talk to you, I have this distinct memory of the first time that we met, and you made an effort to come for one of our meetings, and it was an absolutely beautiful experience. But for the benefit of our audience, I would like for you to introduce yourself.
Sure. So I'm Shabnam, and I basically got in touch with Caregiver Saathi out of sheer desperation. At that time, my husband had kind of been already 5 years into his Parkinson's disease. But he was really in a very bad place. And that was having psychological effects on both him as well as me. And I felt like I was drowning and I really needed support. So I looked up on the net, and to my absolute good luck, I found Caregiver Saathi. And I called up, Bhavana answered the phone. She said, yes, please come to our meetings. And I was there, and it was really a very good experience. There were others there who were not in the same position as I was with respect to the disease of my loved one. However, the caregiving journey was the same. Yeah. And with it, all the trials and tribulations and everything. So it was good to talk with somebody. It was good to feel that there are others in the same boat and you're not alone. And you come away feeling supported in that. Yeah.
Tell us a little more about who you are as a person. What do you do?
Oh, so I like to call myself footloose and fancy free.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to be a tour guide, and but I gave that up a long time ago. Right now, well, ever since I got married, I basically became a caregiver. That's what I want. Not because of the disease, but because that's what you do, right? I mean, you become a caregiver to your child the moment he's born, your caregiver to whoever is there around you. I think what also happens is that you associate the term caregiver largely with taking care of people who are not healthy or maybe old and aged.
Yes.
But I think your caregiving journey starts the moment you have a dependent, the moment you have somebody to take care of, be they healthy or not. So yeah, here I was. I became a caregiver to my husband, first to a healthy husband, and then unfortunately to one who came down with PD, with Parkinson's disease. Yeah, I kind of took it in my stride. Actually, when he was diagnosed with the Parkinson's, I took it in my stride, and I think I didn't really know the enormity of it. Didn't really hit me. And by the time that it was supposed to have hit me, I had kind of gotten used to it. So it just became easier for me to handle it to a large extent. There were a lot of ups and downs. But yeah, it was sometimes difficult and sometimes not that difficult. And I've never really had a career. When I said footloose and fancy free, I like to do different things all the time. I cannot be tied down to any one thing. So I like to try out many different things. So apart from being a tour guide, I've also dabbled in a lot of different types of businesses and stuff. And my most recent venture was making quilts, which I did from out of our farmhouse in Karjat. And this was actually at the encouragement and complete support of my husband. And it was wonderful because I was dealing with fabric and colors and creativity, and with getting people, or getting the ladies who were working for me to learn a new skill. All of it was extremely satisfying. And that actually I did for almost 3-4 years. Which was a great way to get away from the cage of having to care for someone who was in a cage himself. You know. Yeah, so that's who I am, and that's what I do. What am I doing at the moment? At the moment, I'm in the great work of decluttering, as I mentioned on the group. Really enjoying myself with that. Decluttering, giving away, selling, just really lightening the load. And then that's another business opportunity I have thought of for myself, that I thought I was so good at it that I'm going to offer it up as a service now to people who want to do that.
I might take you up on that. So needed.
We can do Zoom calls. I can do it on Zoom for you.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I need it as well. I do think that, there is something to be said about how, baggage and stuff gets accumulated through our journey of life in general, and perhaps our caregiving journey in particular. And there comes a time when we need to declutter and let go.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. It is really cathartic. It is incredibly cathartic. Actually, this is one angle of my caregiving journey, my husband. The other angle was more recent, and that was my mother, who actually arrived in Bombay from abroad on a holiday. Unfortunately had a fall, suffered from trauma, a head injury, and subsequently a trauma. And she just went downhill after that. And she was with me for the last 4 years. But that was actually what had happened was that my husband was very supportive despite his illness. He was very supportive. He just gave me a really long reign to basically just be with her and take care of her. At the same time, he offered me all financial support, mental support, which was a really big thing, and without which actually I wouldn't have been able to do as much, and also do the balancing act that I'm able to do. In order to make it easy for us to be able to take care of my mother, we got caretakers, both night and day ones. Expensive, but yeah, as my husband would always say, it's only money. So we got those ladies who actually made life quite easy for us. Of course, there were troubles that you have in dealing with outside help, which it faces, but still largely it was a very, very good decision. And about all the hardware that was required in order to make her life easy. So in all our decisions in those 4 years, she was of primary concern. But being aged, 87, 88 at the time that she fell, up till 91, it was like she just steadily went downhill. Best we could to keep her comfortable. And again, thankfully to all the caretakers, I was able to go for trips, just fun trips in between a trip to go with my husband for his deep brain surgery, which is for Parkinson's. So I was able to do all this, leave her in good care. We made really good use of technology. I was on WhatsApp calls with her every day, reading out Urdu poems to her from the Rekhta site. It's possible she may have felt the lack of touch, but she always gave a really good smile, really beautiful smile when we came on the line. And then in July this year, she took a turn for the worse, passed away a little later. But again, those last 3 weeks of her life, they were quite tough for me because here was this beloved mother who was going through this. And in your heart, you're screaming and you're saying, why is this happening to this mother, to this really lovely person who has taken such good care of me all my life? And in order to deal with that, I started on this decluttering. Because then I was so focused on that, spent so many hours doing that and then after that, I felt so good about it that I was able to face her with renewed positivity. Go to her, sing to her, just watch TV together. What she used to love watching Super Dancer, Super Dancer, Indian Idol, loving song and dance and stuff, and just be with her. So yeah, I think that was but you have to have it in you to be able to declutter, actually.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's a huge learning edge for me. But that said, I'm very moved by the very comfortable and very good transition that you could afford your mom. So
yeah,
how beautiful is that?
Yeah. I really consider myself blessed that we were able to give her that. We were able to be there whenever we could. I mean, we did spend a lot of time with her, physical time. Yeah, sorry.
Go on, please.
Well, so during the time of COVID, of course, it was full on. But then my husband, because he's a foreigner, he just thought that it was, he felt a little unsafe here, so he went away. And then really began my balancing act, my juggling, between the two people. But then because I felt that mom was in good hands, then I was I went to Europe to join him and returned just in time for mom.
Yeah, so I think it can sometimes be challenging. One would think that if there was one person and two people to care for, and two very, very different relationships, two very, very different conditions, two very, very different life stages. So how, when you look back, what are the things that you feel proud that you did a good job of?
So one of the things was I feel very proud about is that I feel that I was there for my mother at the time that she needed me most through those 4 years.
Yeah.
So I did my thing, because I firmly believed that I needed to take care of myself I needed to be healthy. I needed to be in a good frame of mind. I needed to be positive. And without that, I would not have been able to have that genuine sunny countenance in front of my mother. So I did all those things. I joined a choir. I painted. I went out with my friends. I did all of that. But I was there for my mom a few hours every day, sitting and talking to her, holding her hand, and just being with her. So because I had two ongoing caregiving journeys, luckily I was able to also give my husband the time and the energy when he needed it as well. So I have no guilt. No guilt at all, that I don't feel that I didn't do good by one or the other. I feel like I have done the best I could, really tried. Looking down on me very happily right now. Yeah.
I'm sure too. And I'm so glad that, you were looking after yourself during this time, and you were able to be present, and that is so incredible and so inspiring. There's so many of us who will have these challenges coming down the tube for us. So we will need to equip ourselves with some of these things. And tell us a little more about, something that you remember very fondly, maybe an anecdote or a moment that you look back and smile on.
Oh yeah. So very recently with mom, we kind of knew that these were her last days. And she was going through a lot of ups and downs. And she had stopped speaking completely. The appetite was almost finished, down to liquids and stuff. And there were points when it was really quite bad. However, one day I just walked into the room, but I was always, like as if everything is normal, it's like it's supposed to be. I was always like that with her. There was never a time when I came in front of her and I was like sad and not smiling or something. It was always a smiling countenance. So I walk into the room and I just kind of generally, I said out loud to the room, okay, shall I go and sit next to mom and watch TV? And she goes, "Kyun nahi?" And those words came out so clearly and in her own voice, and they just imprinted themselves onto my heart and my brain. And I just grabbed her and hugged her. Those two precious words spoken after such a long time. And that "kyun nahi" was like loaded, Yes, come and sit next to me. Come.
Yeah. Beautiful. I'm just, trying to visualize that scene, and I can only feel lots of love. I can feel it even now. Kyun nahi?
Thank you, Bhavana.
I mean, and what a memory to remember, and what a memory to live with. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Whenever in doubt, whenever in a moment, just remember, kyun nahi? I'm going to take her away.
Oh, yes.
Kyun nahi, right?
Oh, yeah. In fact, that was actually quite very much her mantra in life as well. There was never anything that she wanted to do where she held back or it was always this thing, positivity that jo bhi karna hai, kyun nahi, kyun nahi karna. So it was very much in her style, very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. So as you kind of beautifully brought to close one responsibility that we hold, and you carry another responsibility. What are the differences in the two caregiving relationships, journeys? Are there any differences?
You mean the differences between caregiving for my husband and caregiving for my mom?
That's right.
Yeah. Very different, I think, because actually, like I said earlier, with my husband, I kind of took it in my stride, because his symptoms were only, the tremor of the hand and not much else. And you also kind of, you don't know much about it. You've not read anything about it. So when you are told that he has Parkinson's, you kind of think that ठीक हो जाएगा, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. And then slowly, what you do is you also go into the fix it mode, which was a mistake. Because I think what you need to do first is accept it before you can actually go into the fix it mode. And that mistake I made, and it was for quite a long time that I really couldn't get my head around it. And it was also, I think, a little bit to do with the fact that he was a bit resistant to trying out other methods of relief that he may be able to get. One doesn't know for sure, but I was all into Ayurveda and, why don't we try it and stuff. But it wasn't working. And I should have accepted that and, let it be. Anyway, the realization did come. And so life became much easier the moment I internalized that realization, actually. Life became much easier. And so that's the way it is now with him, that we are on it's every day is a new day with him, and patience, tolerance is required in buckets. But yeah, you kind of get it slowly if you really work at it. With my mom, it was a shock because, I was like, one evening we're out together for dinner and she's gone to meet a friend of hers and stuff. And the next morning, 7 o'clock, I get this phone call that she's in the hospital and in the ICU. And when I got there, I had to make a huge effort to fight off my tears and fight off shock and the urge to scream. I took one look at her and then I smiled and said, Mom, how are you? How's everything? Of course, she couldn't respond to anything. And I just went, I stroked her and I asked her how she was and stuff. But that was a shock. And then the feeling, that this is really serious stuff. And what's going to happen now? And will she get out of this? Will she get okay? Is she going to die? All of those feelings, there was just too much. So yeah, completely different post both the situations. And even in the caregiving journey, at the moment, my husband doesn't need any help. Still, touch wood, he's quite able to do things on his own, so he doesn't need any help. My mom needed physical help, which I couldn't give her physically, so we got help, and that worked. he's okay at the moment, but thankfully also being in Belgium, the care system there is good, and I would get professional help there as well if I needed it. I would have to reach out, of course.
Which is fundamental, right? All caregivers need to learn to reach out.
To reach out. So there I have to tell you that when my mom had the fall and she was in hospital, she was in the ICU, so somebody has to stay the night with her. So the facilities for somebody to stay there are so bad.
Yeah.
That you largely spend sleepless nights. So I didn't ask anybody for help. Luckily, I had 2 angel cousins who asked me if they could help, if they could come and spend the night. And I accepted their help, just graciously accepted.
Well done.
But I felt guilty. I did feel guilty then. Because all I'm saying, she's my mom and I should be doing everything about it.
Yeah.
Or anything about it.
Yeah.
I did feel guilty, but I was like up to here, and I said, well, Shabnam, you better do this.
Yeah.
Otherwise you won't be able to last another day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I'm quite convinced that it does take a village to look after someone, not just bring up a child. I think looking after someone takes a village as well. And well done. If you, first of all, glad that you have cousins who reached out to you, and well done that you took their help. What are some of the top 3, 4 things you would tell all those who are in their caregiving journey as you look back that can ease other caregivers during their journey?
Yeah. So I think the foremost thing I would say is that you have to take care of yourself first. You just have to. You have to take care of your fitness levels. So physical fitness, mental fitness, you have to go out and meet your friends. You have to take the time out. And because that is really, really important. It's that which actually keeps you going. And basically keeps you in that steady, positive state of mind to be able to deal with your difficult situations. Dress well, put on a lipstick, eyeshadow every day. Yeah, feel as if you're going out, maybe even do go out. Order a biryani occasionally. And while you're on the treadmill, listen to some good music. Just laugh, jump, dance, and do whatever makes you feel good. There's no point in wallowing because we are in the situation that we are. And it's easier to build up this, the positivity and then to continue with it rather than steadily go downhill with that burden of caregiving.
Any hacks for when you're going down?
What does that mean?
This is apparently the latest language. So I'm just trying to be I'm a wannabe new gen.
Are you a millennial? Because I'm not.
I'm a wannabe. So I'm told that, tips in the olden world is called hack in the new world. So what are the tips, the quick things that you would say, you know what, this is a tip to cope with those days? We all have our tougher days, right? We have our days when things are down. Of course, you have to lift yourself up, but I think just being kind to yourself on days that are tough is also.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because really, I mean, we all have to, I think that we really try and do the best we can, because we are taking care of our loved ones. We do it. And that's why we are in that position in the first place. Otherwise, you can just leave them to somebody else. You can, I don't know, do a lot of other things. But that's the reason why you're there. And therefore, you are doing the best you can. And so we shouldn't really beat ourselves up about, any small mistake that we may have committed, or any, best not to have regrets. Best. Yeah.
Thank you for that. And thank you for your time. And thank you for being with Caregiver Saathi. Anything that you would like to say to the team at Caregiver Saathi, or what are your wishes for us?
Oh, to the team of Caregiver Saathi, I would say I love you all. I think you are one of the best things that have happened to me. So I may not be so active on on the group, but I get so many lovely insights from just reading everybody's messages. All the little tips that everybody offers, and we are all in the same boat. We're all there for each other, and I'm really, truly grateful to be a part of this group.
We are grateful for your insights and the lovely way which you hold the community. And we hope that with your wishes, we will be able to reach out to many more.
Oh yeah, from strength to strength, Bhavana. Absolutely, that's what I wish. Yeah, from strength to strength.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're doing invaluable work, and there are really a lot of people out there who I'm sure would benefit greatly from this, from what you are doing for yourself and for us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. With lots of love and best wishes from all of us at Caregiver Saathi.
So much. Same to you. Same to you. Big hug.
Big hugs to you. I look forward to meet you again, and wish you the very best.
Thank you so much, Bhavana. Absolutely. Look forward to.
Yes. You take care, and we'll see you soon.
Absolutely.